The Ranger got a massive rework on the new update, so this video I'll be checking the Ranger's new stats, upgrade order, if it's better than Accelerator or not, and more, so let's get right into it. So starting off, what has changed? Well, a lot. Firstly, it now has a new ability unlocked on level 2 where it increases the range of nearby towers for a few seconds at the start of each wave. This makes Ranger a semi-support tower, albeit an unreliable one. The Ranger now also deals explosive damage on its max level. Sadly, this explosion can only damage 3 enemies at once, so crowd control is pretty limited. Its placement limit has also been reduced from 10 to 6. It even has nearly full map range at level 0 and insane damage, but at an insane price of over 60k to max one single Ranger. But to get into depth on the stats, let's look at each level. So starting off, the level 0 Ranger gets a fire rate of 4.5, range of 50 and damage of 80 at a cost of 5000. This results in a DPS of 18, which is already a 50% increase from the usual 12 DPS of the old Ranger, albeit at a cost of 1500 more. Though since its base level already has full map range, this is definitely better than before. As for appearance, it now wields a railgun, camouflage clothing, as well as headphones. Now going to level 1, Ranger's fire rate gets reduced by 1 second to 3.5 seconds. This results in a DPS of 23 at a cost of 1500. As for appearance, there seems to be next to no changes to the model. Next on level 2, Ranger's damage gets increased from 80 to 140, making for a 60 damage increase. This results in a DPS of 40 at the cost of 4500. The most important part, however, is that it gains its passive ability. The ability increases the range of nearby towers by 15% for 20 seconds at the start of each wave. This upgrade can be easily noticed by the antenna on the Ranger's backpack. As for other changes, he gains a cool looking eyepiece and a few small model changes. Next on level 3, the Ranger gets a cooldown of 3.25 seconds, being a quarter of a second faster. This is a small difference compared to the damage of Ranger being increased from 140 to 300, a 160 increase. This makes for a DPS of 92 at a cost of 1700, which is pretty insane. As for the model, the only noticeable change is that the Ranger gets a pretty cool looking hood. Now the final upgrade is actually level 4, which is rare for a late game tower, but you'll see why soon. The cooldown gets increased to 7 seconds, more than double, but the damage more than triples to an insane 1125. And it doesn't stop there, it also gains an explosion dealing 125 damage. Unfortunately, this can only damage 3 enemies at once, making for a maximum of 375 damage per explosion. As for the price, it's one, if not the most expensive upgrade in the game, being 35k. As for the model, its gun turns into a proper railgun, with the backpack also being changed to some energy storage, alike to Accelerator. As for DPS, it can vary between 160 on single targets and 215 with 3 targets. Overall, as we can see, Ranger is definitely a much more worthwhile tower, but with the rework, what upgrades should you be aiming for? Following that, we have upgrade order. Here's the cost efficiency of every upgrade in terms of cost per DPS. So basically, the lower, the better. In case you're confused on the level 4 Ranger, max occurs when Ranger is only hitting a single target, whilst minimum assumes Ranger is hitting 3 enemies each time. Thus, on average, it's the worst upgrade out of all of these. Now, the interesting thing you probably noticed is that the support passive upgrade is somehow the most cost efficient. You can just spam these around the map to buff all your towers without losing out on any DPS. Though, overall these upgrades are super close to each other, so buying whatever is the cheapest upgrade should work fine, but level 2 Rangers are probably your best bet. Now how and should you be using the reworked Ranger? Well, the Ranger still has full map range, so it's basically impossible to place it badly. You should just place it near wherever your ground towers are for the DJ and Commander buffs, if possible. For most cases, Ranger benefits more from Commander than DJ due to the already full map range when maxed, so I'd recommend Commander when having to choose one. Now, should you actually use it? Well, comparing it with Accelerator, we have a level 5 Accelerator coming in at a DPS of 286, whereas level 5 Ranger has a DPS of 160 to 215. This makes Accelerator better for overall damage output. Overall, with Accelerator also having better cost efficiency and less placement limit, I'd say it comes out on top, assuming there's no support. This is not very in depth however, so make sure to subscribe, since I'll be making a comparison video soon, so don't miss that. Now as for the skins, here's the before and after of some of the Ranger skins. I'll also be rating each skin out of 10 for fun. Starting off with the Black Ops skin, here we have the before, and overall I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. But with the new version, although I really love the goggles and attention to detail in the model, personally I feel it's just not that great compared to the next ones, 7.5 out of 10. Next up we have the Rave skin, which honestly I'd give a 7 out of 10. But with the reworked version, it's by no exaggeration 10 times better. Everything I found bad about the previous version is basically fixed here. The neon just brings a lot more life to it, making for an overall great looking skin. Best of all, the hood and backpack just fit the skin super well. I'd rate it 9.5 out of 10. Following that, we have the Partisan skin. Personally, I just rate it a 7 out of 10. The last upgrade is just like so meh, you know? But with the new version, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. All the upgrades, especially the maxed one, looks way better, but I'm just not a fan of this theme is all, so I can see why some of you would disagree on this. Lastly, my favorite one, the Dark Matter skin, I'd give an 8 out of 10. But now with the new version, I really like the purple and grey colors on this one, since it actually fits the name Dark Matter a lot more compared to before. Overall, just a really clean looking skin, with it even having a cape on its back. I'd rate it a respectable 9 out of 10. Overall, this tower is really cool, and I'll probably be using it a lot more now, with its versatility, and I mean, just look at it. It looks way better now, and yeah, see you on the next one.